When you want only the best for your pet, check out AbbybellPetDesigns.com. We offer quality products such as floppy beds, crate pads, round pet beds, pillow slip covers, belly bands, and more. All products come in a variety of colors and sizes, guaranteed to satisfy your pet's particular style. Your pet deserves to be pampered, so shop at AbbybellPetDesigns.com. If you don't see the item you want listed in our shop, just drop us a line and we'll be glad to make the product of your pet's dreams. AbbybellPetDesigns.com. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Hey, Gary, good to see you. Another Friday, another bad day in history. Hey, Alan, good morning. Hey, William, good to see you. Lynn, good to see you. Thanks for sharing and retweeting Gary. Really appreciate it. Thanks for sharing, Alan. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Cully. How are you? Thank you, everybody, for retweeting and sharing this with everybody. I tell you, it's hard to have lifted spirits this morning. Hey, Noelle. Good to see you. As people come in, I think all of us have just been through the ringer this morning again. Hey, Sherry. And I've, a lot of hate and vitriol going on as is becoming more and more commonplace. Good morning. As you're coming in, let me read something to you. This is Romans 12, and we will start with the news and Open Option Friday after I read this, but I think it's probably something today, especially that all of us, including myself, need to hear. Behave like a Christian is the topic. Let love be without hypocrisy. Abhor what is evil. Cling to what is good. Be kindly affectionate to one another with brotherly love. In honor, giving preference to one another. Not lagging in diligence, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Rejoicing in hope. Patient in tribulation. Continuing steadfastly in prayer. Distributing to the needs of the saints. Given to hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. Rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. Be of the same mind toward one another. Do not set your mind on high things, but associate with the humble. Do not be wise in your own opinions. Repay no one evil for evil. Have regard for good things in the sight of all men. If it is possible, as much as depends on you, live peaceably with all men. Beloved, do not avenge yourselves, but rather give place to wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. Therefore, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him a drink. For in so doing you will heap coals of fire on his head. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Amen. Hey, Georgia. Really hard. Hey, Jerry, to feel that way sometimes. Hey, Amanda. Just a little reminder, my ears are not like yours. Available at Amazon.com. Please give a kind word, an encouraging word to children everywhere. Hey, Eric. Hey, Rhonda, good morning. Whew. So, as you've probably heard, there was an active shooter in Texas today. Santa Fe High School. It's in Galveston. I guess it's it's Galveston County, I guess, near Houston, Texas. Romans 12. Yes, Rhonda. Harbor School shooting, yes. They say multiple injuries. The shooter has been arrested. From the accounts that I got watching it pretty much live right after it happened, parents were the first to tell people what was going on. Supposedly, a kid, I guess, I don't know for sure, but a student came into to the classroom in an art class. Good morning, Lisa. And started opening fire on the kids. And apparently there was a back door so the kids could run out that back door. Gary said we're getting additional reports. There may be more than one person in custody. We can't confirm if there's an additional shooter or not. Multiple sources tell us that at least 8 are dead. That's what we're hearing. That's what Jerry just reported, that there were 8 dead, multiple injuries. this is Texas, right? I mean, if you're not safe in school in Texas, I don't know. Same school was on lockdown back in February. That's right, false alarm, Brandon, back in February, and now the real thing happened today. Uh, but again, it's Texas. You can have a gun. I guess some places open carry. If any place you could protect yourself and children, it would be Texas, most likely. And parents said it was a shotgun, birdshot. I don't know about birdshot, but okay. Uh, Sounded a little bit more drastic than that, but I know I hadn't heard about it. Yeah, at least it happened earlier this morning, and it's a chaotic scene. I mean, it had of course, a lot of police and ambulances, life flight. Several people from life flight. I think there were at least 4 life flight helicopters that I saw from different locations. Close range birdshot can do real damage. Yeah, it can, and it sprays, of course. But I don't know. It seemed a lot worse in there. I don't know. Buckshot would do more damage than birdshot, but I just don't know. Parents said child heard the pump action and heard the pellets. So, what do we do? It would seem to me that when this type of thing happens, once again, we don't seem to be doing things that we need to do to protect the schools. And again, as I'm saying, this is Texas. If you aren't protected at school in Texas, I don't know where you're going to be protected at. For me, again, why don't we have metal detectors at the front gate? Why don't we have armed guards at the front gate? I don't know when are we going to get the message that this is happening. It's going to continue to happen, God forbid. There may be even stronger things that occur. We need people who are visible out front and armed. There's also a man waving an American flag. Yeah, I heard a flag with a MAGA hat on or near the school. Didn't hear that, but I heard about something that happened last night I'll talk about in a few minutes. Was this another no weapon zone? It was Houston, Texas area, Rhonda. So it's not a no weapon zone as far as I know. Phoenix has had metal detectors for 20 years, Lynn said. Well, you know what, Lynn, and that's good. And they should also have armed guards. I'm sorry, every school should have armed guards standing in front of the school. Why don't we get the veterans? Why don't we get the police off duty? I live in a small town and school doors kept locked and people screened by camera for approval. Susie, that's exactly what should happen too. Hey, Jules, good to see you. It's a blue city in Texas. Okay, so Georgia's saying it's a blue city. Not all schools have them. Yep, true. I saw it on local news. They said we don't need to politicize it, but then ask the girl about MAGA guy, of course. Schools often have a no weapon zone. Yeah, Georgia said, Rhonda, that it's a blue city, so apparently it's a no weapon zone. I don't know for sure, but if that's the case, if it's a blue city, that's probably the case. Again, I don't know when parents are going to say enough is enough. Maybe they never will. I don't know when the public is going to say enough is enough. Marines supposedly pulled fire alarm, Susie said. NCAA said it's not a no weapon zone, so kind of conflicting there. I have no idea. I'm upset about the bus and dump truck. Yeah, Lynn, a lot of people injured on that, it seems like. All major cities are blue in Texas, Georgia said. Well, blue, white, green, purple, we're going to have to do something. Was fast and a heavy response. Absolutely, Susie. City had a plan. The school had a plan. Dawn said, I don't think birdshot could cause so much damage. Had to be buckshot. That's what I think, Dawn, but who knows? You hear Guy at Trump. Yes, we'll talk about that in a minute. Schools often has no weapon zone, Rhonda said. Yeah. Blue BC, because Californians are fleeing to those areas. Well, and there again, Brandon, people in Texas, when you get Californians coming in to Texas, you're going to need to say, this is a red city that you're coming into. They also had false alarm 3 weeks ago, similar to Florida. Yeah, Susie, it was back in February, I think, when they had the false alarm. So yeah, false alarms turned out not to be false. They bring their politics with them. They do. That's why Oregon. There used to be a saying that said, "Don't Californicate Oregon," because Oregon knew what was coming, and see, Oregon let them in, and Oregon let it change their entire political outlook. Let me look into it. If I was a gun-free zone, see if I can find out if it was a gun-free zone. Georgia said, "Thank you, Georgia." All schools better make plans to defend the students in the campus. Jerry said, "I had to turn the chat off. Comments despicable," Susie said. I know it's ridiculous. I this morning when I was listening to it, I just hid the chat. I'm telling you what, people are getting so out of hand. Did I miss the whole who did the shooting in Texas? Sorry, no, it's okay, Jules. I don't. From all indications, it appears that it was one of the students, but I don't know that for sure. Supposedly just came in and started shooting up the art class. Still covering on the news. Susie said, "Yep." Could it be the false alarm has been a dry run? Rhonda, these days, you know what? Anything is possible. Comments were immediately blaming white people. Brandon said, it's getting to be in social media and almost everywhere. Every day I wake with these serious happenings. Yep. I know, Lynn. Said about 17 injured but not confirmed yet, Susie said. Somebody else is saying 8 dead. Hi, Danielle. I just think that, it's getting worse. The attacks are getting worse on social media. I mean, it's getting to the point that they're brutal. They're not in Texas, Danny, in a Santa Fe High School shooting. They're getting to be brutal with each other. I mean, there's no such thing as civility or any such thing as, common courtesy anymore. Hey, Kim, good to see you. It is you, right? Nutty, no prayers for kids, just attacks. Susie said, yeah. Black on white crime is 25% higher than white on black crime, Jules said. And I mean, there was an article I published or I posted on Facebook in a certain group. Hey, Judy, I had to remove that article. It was about Donald Trump, and the comments got so disgusting that I just had to remove it. I didn't want to fight the fight anymore with people that don't want to listen, that have no intentions of hearing the truth at all. And I can't do it anymore. I don't want to do it. I don't want to waste my time. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Judy. And so I just took down the article. It wasn't worth going through the brutality that I saw people doing, to the president. Eventually, it turned to me. I know, Kim. It's ridiculous. And people say, well, don't let them do that to you. Don't run from it or whatever. It's not worth it. It simply isn't worth it. I want to fight that. I want to fight something that's a great cause that's going to help something. I don't want to be a part of these people who are so destructive, so brutal, saying despicable things about the president. I don't even remember seeing those type of things about Obama, and people probably hated him, just as much, but I didn't see those type of despicable things about wishing the ill will on him. I mean, you think the John McCain comment was bad that Sadler person supposedly made? I mean, my God, the stuff I saw would have made that look like nothing, and that was bad. But I mean, my goodness. Hey, Teresa. Could it be a false? Let's see. I'm interested in the psych background of the shooter. Yeah, we'll never know about that, I'm sure. Rhonda. Hey, good morning, Rhonda. You're right. No point in engaging vile people. Can't change it. Lisa, they don't want to change. All they want to do is spew out their vileness. I mean, seriously. And to wish the president the type of, stuff that they were, I don't even want to repeat it. It's nasty. I don't want to be a part of that either. There are a lot of sheep out there, Kim said. Yeah, absolutely. There's a spirit of hate and anger list. You know what? Spirit and hate, I think that's like saying the animals comment about the MS-13 doesn't go far enough, Jerry. It really doesn't. There's a vileness that I've never seen in my lifetime of this way. The civil rights era was, of course, absolutely vile. But this is a different type of violence. This is hiding behind, in the dark shadows, coming out at people and saying anything and everything that you want to, because you don't have to face the people that you say it to. It's a cowardice like I've never seen before. Pay no attention to the lost; their hearts are gone. I know, and it's really, I get sort of caught up into that, and then I just like, wow, it just hurts my soul. Blacks are being brainwashed to hate whites at a level I've never seen in my life. And I have to say, it goes the other way. There are some whites are being brainwashed to hate blacks that much too. I mean, there's just hate back and forth. Yes, Susan, it is a gun-free zone. Georgia said she looked at it. The Santa Fe High School is a gun-free zone, according to what Georgia just looked up on the internet. Just pray for them, all you can do. I know, Brandon, and it's hard to pray for them because, you get so much and it's hard to do it, but I know we're supposed to. Yes, rage is bad right now. It is. Civil war on free speech for sure. And if you don't agree with them, they want to gang up on you and beat you up. They do, Kim. Was shooter a student, Danielle? That seems to be the case, but I don't know for sure. Hiding on social media and they get a rush from it. It's an addiction. It is. And, these are the same people. They used to do psychological studies where they would have people in, like, on these tests that they were doing. They would have people sort of lined up and saying, okay, every time this person gets the answer wrong or whatever the case may be, give them an electric shock. Like punish them. They wanted to see what people would do. And so they could see the person or they could hear the person. I can't remember which one it was. And they would start doing it. They would press the button when they got something wrong or whatever. The person would start screaming, and these people would continue doing it. Most people would continue doing it even when the screams got louder. It's like they just after a minute or two, they got off on, hurting people. And it's like, this is what these people that I'm seeing, this is what it's becoming to. This current high school generation needs our prayers. This problem continues. Absolutely. Hey, Carmen, that's awful, Lisa said. I come here all different hours intermittently, and some people seem to live here. I know. It's okay, Carmen. You might want to go back and listen to it if you haven't heard about the shooting this morning. Lots of brainwashing going on. Kim, and it is, again, it's so vile. It really is vile. And you wonder if you were face to face with those people, the vileness that you see, would they act it out? And you know what? I think they might. That one example that just happened at the Cheesecake Factory, I forget where the location. Oh, it was in Miami, Florida. A young black man and his girlfriend went into the Cheesecake Factory down there. He was wearing his MAGA cap, and the employees supposedly came over and verbally started attacking him, tried to touch his hat. Some people do, others run back to their keyboards. True, Richie. But they berated this young man until he finally had to leave. I mean, nobody deserves that kind of situation to happen to them. It's crazy. Social media has made it possible, Rhonda said. Saw that on a show like Candid Camera. Yeah, there you go, Rhonda. Let's put up signs in front of those who want gun control, gun-free zone, Rhonda said. Psychological issues aren't being treated. Thank you, Obamacare. Yeah. True, Rhonda. But, I mean, the guy in the Cheesecake Factory, they're saying now that they may have suspended the employees or, they're taking care of it or whatever. But it's like, are you kidding me? It looks like, did Periscope just freeze, everybody? Looks like it froze. I saw it flash and almost a freeze for me. So I guess Periscope didn't like our conversation. And it's still freezing. So, unbelievable. Can anybody tell me if Periscope is still working? Numerous employees. That's right, Rhonda. Because it was like a gang mentality. Anybody on Periscope? Could you give me a thumbs up or something letting me know? I'm frozen on Periscope. Okay, so I'm going to have to restart Periscope. Apparently our conversation was not what they wanted to hear. So let me restart it. And I did just now see that 8 people are dead. That's what they're saying on the news right now. I can't believe that it refroze, though. Or that it froze. And now they're telling me they've encountered a problem. It could be because there are so many people online. I guess that's possible, but will say it's saying it's not going to let me restart it. So that's great. Let me keep trying. Tell them I'm trying again. Hey Patrick, good to see you. I'm trying to get the Periscope restarted. It's saying it again. It's not allowing me to restart it. So anyway, for those that are still here on YouTube and Facebook, it's quite a morning. I don't know why why they're doing this. Let me try again. It may be that I just have to, try to come back later. Yeah, it's not allowing me to do it. Hey, Richie. So far, Periscope's not letting me come back on, so I came over here from Periscope. Hey, Lisa. I know. Hey, Brandon. Thanks for telling me. Brandon, right now, Periscope's not allowing me back on. So let me see. It could be that they were taking down anybody that had the shooting in their heading. I don't know. I'm going to try it again. But I have a feeling they're not going to let me do it. It's a crazy, crazy day. That's all I can tell you. I mean, it's just absolutely nuts. Already started out bad, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better. Okay, I'm trying to go live again on Periscope. We'll see if that happens. Fox News is broadcasting from Periscope. That could be it. Hey, Sherry. Okay, it looks like we're back up. Hey, Carmen. Did you get banned? No, Richie, it just went down for whatever reason. Hey, Barbara, Jerry, you can go back over to Periscope now, Richie, if you'd like. Anybody who was kicked off of Periscope when it froze, you can kind of get back. Yep, and we're back. It wouldn't let me on, Jerry, for a number of minutes there. Hey, Cheryl. I did confirm when I was off that there was 8 that were confirmed dead. Got you pulled up on YouTube and Periscope just in case. Okay, Brandon. Probably a good idea. Yeah. That was weird, Barbara. I know. He just said, good morning, my lovely Sue. So sorry to hear 8 died in the school shooting. We were praying for you guys. Thank you. I'm going back, got the notification. Cool, Lisa. All right, everybody. Yeah, 8 kids dead. That's just... I mean, isn't that worse than that we've heard in a long time? I don't know. I've lost count. Which, I can't even believe we need to count the dead bodies at school anymore. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. Hey, Bob. This is Rich School District. Yeah, hey, Kim. It seems like it's a no-gun zone, too, Barbara. The shooting is about a couple of hours from me. Wow, Chelsea. What is wrong with kids? Jerry, what's wrong with the world? Or Danielle. Hey, Patrick. Twitter activists and Dims will be out in full force. Oh, you better believe it. I jumped here because Twitter freezes every time they ask a moderator question. Crazy, Rhonda. Why do they not secure the schools? Barbara, that's a really good question. Hey, Lynn. Hey, Shannon. They've known about this. Why not, secure the schools, put up metal detectors, put up the cameras, and Cheryl said explosives have been reported. It's a lack of God problem, Sherry said. Yeah. Put up armed guards. Good morning, everyone. God bless you all. Thank you, Shannon. God bless you, too. TSA-like force could help. Yeah, Brandon, they could privatize it. This is about an hour south of where I live, NCAA said. My husband works security at airport. It is not hard to do. I know, and it doesn't cost that much, Barbara. It's a rural area, NCAA said. They could have, they had veterans and off-duty cops that would have done that. Yes, 8 students have been confirmed dead, or what the reports are saying. Parents need to address security issues with their school stat. Yep. Have you heard of private schools having this problem? No, Brandon, sure haven't. It's heartbreaking, Carmen said. Yeah, it is. I hear you, but you're frozen, Lisa said. I don't think everybody else... Lisa, maybe go back out and come back in. I heard a kid say pipe bombs were also used today. Wow. I have no idea about the pipe bombs. Sorry, late was busy adulting. Beck said, "It's okay, Beck. We got kicked off once. This is a restart, so hopefully it'll stay up." Private schools and homeschooling do not have these problems. Most private schools have prayer in them. That's right. Hey, Bob. Good morning. How are you? Robert Coleman. How are you? Yeah. I don't know why we got kicked off. I don't know if it's a topic. I don't know if it was just, everybody on at one time and they couldn't take it. Okay, went out and in, all good. Good, Lisa. But when we got kicked out, I was talking about the Cheesecake Factory and the young man, young black man who was wearing the MAGA cap down in Miami, Florida. Yeah, maintenance. There you go. This is horrible. And I left when you were on and had to do some work, so no, nothing from then, Barbara said. But the young man in the Cheesecake Factory, I think Cheesecake ought to be sued, is what I think. I think when you allow your employees to gang around somebody, gang up on him, I don't care if he's wearing a MAGA cap or an Obama hat, that should not be allowed. He seems very well spoken. But Cheesecake owes him more than just we're sorry, we're taking care of it. I think they owe him more than that. Nasty, overpriced food always. Brandon said, Kim said exactly. Sherry said, what happened? They got fired. They should all be fired. One in custody and one detained, Cheryl said, at the shooting in Santa Fe, Texas. Yeah, I mean, but I think Cheesecake Factory ought to be, I don't know, maybe sued, or their employees all required to go to some type of training, training such as, just go ahead and write them a check. Exactly, Wayne. Some is keep your hands off the customers. Don't berate the customers. I think it's pretty easy, to kind of understand that. There was a young black man who was wearing a MAGA cap, and the employees at the Cheesecake Factory in Miami, Florida, allegedly didn't like it, and they all converged on him and were ridiculing him. If you're conservative, you're a target. Sad, but that's how the left acts. That's right, Jerry. And they've got to stop doing that. Yeah, you don't bully your customers. That's number one. Figure that one out. Don't bully your customers. I had someone ask a question, didn't know how to answer. Here it is. I mentioned Australia having strict gun laws, but 7 killed last week. But, Rhonda, they're comparing apples to oranges. Barbara, go out and come back in. I don't think anybody else is having that problem. It could just be on your end. So go out and come back in and see if that helps. 20 minutes from Santa Fe, tragedy hits home. Several friends with kids there. Oh, no. The Oiler team. That's terrible. Is anybody else seeing that ceiling fan? I think I moved this over. You shouldn't be seeing the ceiling fan, but I suppose bullying will be marched out as the reason behind the shooting. Oh, yeah, I guess, So everything is fine. Nobody else sees the ceiling fan. What about the guy who showed up almost immediately with the MAGA hat and a huge flag? Yeah, good video and audio here. Good. Okay, here we go. We seriously have to address the problems with these kids. And Brandon, I mean, I think it's more than that. We need to address the issue with the parents and the children, because something is not going right between the communication between the parents and the children. Something is failing. And if you've got mental health issues and parents aren't recognizing it, there's a problem. You just look like an angel with a light above you. Well, that's good, Carmen. It's amazing, not a peep from the black community on that. Well, and that's what Terrence Williams was saying last night about the Cheesecake Factory. Hey, Black Lives Matter, where are you? How come you're not helping that young man out in the Cheesecake Factory in Miami, Florida? Is it because he's a conservative black man that you don't want to help him? I mean, that's crazy. If Black Lives Matter to you and that's all you say, Black Lives Matter, then why aren't you helping this black life? Do you not care? Kids are not being taught how to deal with adversity, bubble wrap generation. I know, Patrick. Yes, or ACLU. My heart hurts 8 kids. Barbara said, I know. That's exactly right, Lisa said. I just get I get tired of all of this. I mean, it's just craziness. Nothing is making, and I don't mean to put this such a broad, generalized brush here, but a lot of things are not making sense anymore. They're upside down. The area is overwhelmingly MAGA for who asked about the hat, flag, and Santa Fe. Okay. Thank you, Oiler team. BLM should be for all. I know. And Kim, if they only want to be for black people, okay, this guy looks like a black guy to me, and he says he's a black guy. So why aren't you helping this black guy? Why is it? Because he had a MAGA cap on. That's why you're not helping him. I don't want these kids to ruin the Second Amendment for all of us. And they shouldn't have to, Brandon. It shouldn't be that way. If this school and every other school had taken the opportunity to tighten security around their schools, I don't think this would be happening. There should be armed guards at every single school in America weeks ago, but after today, certainly every single school. And there should be absolutely no excuse why there isn't. I mean, seriously. What about NAACP? Pick and choose. Exactly, Noel. How come these people were, going down to Starbucks about these two men that were asked to leave that weren't buying anything? This guy was having dinner, and that wasn't enough. Parents need to lock up their guns too. Yeah, absolutely, Lisa. I guess they don't realize the bad guys won't be giving up their guns. Oh, Kim, they do realize that. I think they really do realize that. I agree, armed guards, FW said. I see sheriff's car at the public elementary school my daughter works at. I'm telling you, metal detectors, armed guards at the doors, because the Starbucks desk was a setup. Exactly, Barbara. Exactly. But I don't understand, and I don't get it, okay? When are we, or is it never going to happen? But I'm just putting a question out there in the world. When are we ever going to stop looking at people based upon their skin color and start treating people like human beings that they are? We are all human beings. Why cannot we get along with each other? Why do we have to look at skin color and make that the decision of whether or not we, interact with people, we like people, whatever? I'm so sick and tired of it. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't care what your skin color is, male, female, short, tall, whatever. It's how you treat me that I care about. We all have the same kind of blood. That's right, Kim. Parents need not to let children go to school until they see the school is secure. True, Barbara, because if they did that, they would immediately fix everything because they'd lose money. It's the worst I've ever seen it right now. NCAA said, yep. Why are parents allowing their kids to get the guns? I don't know, Danielle, but I do know some kids on drugs, not saying this kid has drug problems or anything else, but some kids on drugs, break into their parents' stuff and steal guns. It is one race, the human race. Exactly, Williams. And I don't understand why people can't treat people. Richie says, why can't we be friends? Why can't we be friends? Yeah, I remember the song. But I mean, it's absolute insanity. And maybe it's because I lived through the civil rights era that I feel this way. But I'll tell you what, even during the civil rights era, I don't know, I guess we left each other alone for the most part. I was a kid, so I don't remember, too much about it. But we kind of left each other alone. And stuff that happened when we weren't leaving each other alone was absolutely ridiculous and wrong. Today, we're working together, we live together, we're in the same neighborhoods together and everything else, but we still can't get along. Yeah, why can't we be friends? Why can't we all just get along? The man said, yeah. But I mean, these same arguments are going on, 100 years of the same arguments. God, I'm trying to watch because I'm so mad right now. Trying not to cuss at all. Okay, I'm really trying. You mean more like liberal lives matter? Yeah, that's right, Josette. That's all that obviously mattered to that person. How is it apples and oranges, please? Rhonda said. Rhonda, I'll talk about it later. Australia and America, two different countries, two different problems. It's not the same. We should sing the Barney theme. Oh God, please not. Pray for calm during this time. Brandon said, it's not people's fault. It's the talking heads who make it happen. Cain killed his own brother. Always been that way. I know, Danielle, and it's just oh, too much. People are more isolated now due to computers, cell phones, etc. And that's true, Patrick. That's a good point. And as I was saying early, people get behind their keyboards and they say things that I'm wondering, would they say if they were face to face? And a lot of times I don't think so, but a lot of times there's so much anger from being behind the keyboard and hiding that they just might. Mob mentality is bad. It's horrible. And I've seen the mob mentality. And people, they go along with it, and it's like, really, because they go along with it. Parents have to get involved with their kids' lives. Oh, absolutely, D Sear, they do, absolutely, more than 10 minutes a day. And I mean, like I told you before, there were some parents that I was seeing, their kids, they were texting each other. Yesterday, that attorney in New York, no earworms, please. Sure, sometimes I write something and read days later, and was that me? I know, Beck. I mean, I think we're all guilty of that. President Trump discussing prison reform at this moment. And also there was another tragedy that took place today, and it was overshadowed by what happened at the school, understandably so. But apparently it looks like that a woman in New York, 40-some-year-old woman, and her 7-year-old son jumped out of a hotel window to their deaths. And it looks like at this point that it was intentional. So, you got that happening, and you got this happening, and it's just insanity all around. And it's going to get worse. Yes, Williams, it was, that was just terrible. I know, it was down in Manhattan, and she, I guess, apparently just walked out and just took her life and her son's life too. I text myself the most brain fog mental notes, Lisa said. I know. Prison reform means a different thing to me than what most people think. I know, me too, Barbara. Prison reform would be you need to lock more people up. Was overwhelmed, maybe, could have been. I know, Alan. It was very sad. Very, very sad. I don't know if you heard about, when did this happen? Last night? My children, only reason I haven't killed myself. Well, Williams, I hope you never even go there and consider that. I really do. And if you ever feel like that, you reach out to somebody, please. Woman killed herself in childcare in New York, like Manhattan area, Carmen. She walked out, I guess on a balcony. I don't know. I don't know why their windows are able to open up there. She walked out with her child, and they jumped. And the child, of course, didn't have anything to do with it. The mother dragged the child with her. Who said that? No, life is beautiful. Barbara said, then a crazy man shoot up in one of POTUS's golf course. Yeah. At golf course, it was at the Trump Resort, again in Florida and Miami. Anything Vegas last night, not much covered, Noel said. Last night in Vegas was a armed masked man at Boulder Mall. Supposedly, no weapons were fired, no bullets fired, and they arrested the man. So that's all that happened there, supposedly. That's what was put out in the news. How many people can say they know their neighbors have broken bread with them, been in their house? Patrick, I can. And I'm proud to say that. I know my neighbors in my general vicinity, which is kind of unusual for California. Because normally people don't want you to know what they're doing. But I'm happy to say that I give Christmas presents to my neighbors and food to my neighbors. My neighbor does the same to me, and I'm proud of that. And I think more people should do that. It is very unusual in California. It is, Richie. It really is. Most people just want to be left alone. They don't want you to know their business, so it's hard to sometimes do that. We have parties and watch out for our area. Love my neighbors, but never have eaten with them. My neighbor we share food. Like, she'll make something, and she'll give it to us. She'll hand it over the fence, right? And then we do the same thing. If we make something, we also grow grapes and we share with our neighbors. We have really good neighbors. I have, and one of my neighbors has a beautiful pool. Lisa said, "Yeah." Hey, Bob, how are you? And W. Williams, please, don't be a stranger. This group is a very friendly group who love people. They want to bless you. They want you to be here. They'll pray for you. This is a great group of people. We have some crazies that come in here every now and then that we call trolls, that want to, be angry and spew hate, and we try to get rid of them as fast as we can. This is not a periscope of hate. This is a periscope of spreading love and God's word. So you're welcome here anytime. And please, if you ever feel like that no one cares, we're here every day except Wednesday, Monday through Friday at 11 Eastern. We're welcome here anytime. They don't call me a crazy. I know, Richie, but I know you. I can call you crazy. Diversity of opinion. Yeah, diversity of opinion is fine until it becomes disrespectful, and then you're out of here. If they mention the mic, they'd be gone. I know, Utah Redhead. Good to see you, finally. Keith, is it Keith? I can't remember now. You've been gone so long. People have block parties on Friday nights here, all the kids playing and adults relaxing together. That's nice, NCAA. That's really good. Or is it Bob? It's Bob. Utah is Bob, right? Yes, we share with our immediate neighbors, even though we are not physically that close together, Noel said. Yeah, in California, you are that close to your neighbors. You have a fence, a wall separating you, and that's it. That you can pretty much, if you look close enough, you can look in their windows and they can look in yours. So we're close. Going through life changes, so I've been away. Well, we missed you. Please don't be away that long. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. Well, that's right. It's Rob. Thank you. I knew it was like Bob, or Rob. You've been gone so long that I forgot. I won't forget again. Please don't be gone that long again. Don't even know my neighbors, and I live in an apartment. Shooter was probably a victim of bullying. Well, I don't know, but that doesn't give you an excuse to go kill people, even if you're a victim of bullying. You can get help. You can talk to somebody, but it doesn't give you the right to go kill people. Time no see you. Yeah, so true, Danielle said. Everybody has issues that they're dealing with, but you shouldn't take that out on everybody else. Not us 1 to 2 acre lots, but we take care of each other. That's cool. President's going to talk. So do you guys want to go and listen to the president? We can end here if you'd like, and we can go listen to the president. Anybody, quick vote? What do you want to do? Or you can play it back later. What would you like to do? My son had permission to go to many neighbors in an emergency. He's on now. Okay, everybody's wanting to stay. I don't know anyone that hasn't been bullied at one time or another. It's true, Alan. I'm watching you and the president. Okay, cool. So yeah, you can always go back. It will have you can see the replay. It'll be there. I noticed that some people left. The numbers just went and dropped off. It's going to be hard to stop the bullying by children if the adults don't stop. Yep, we can watch together, Barbara said. The thing of it is, I was bullied in school. Everybody in my class was bullied in school. And one of the reasons that we had bullying, it was during the civil rights era. We didn't know, we weren't bullying people, but we got bullied. It's a little known fact that, white kids got bullied. Hey, hate to tell you that. But we didn't take it out on people because we were bullied. We're not shooting up and killing people, and we didn't then, and we're not doing it now as far as I know. People have things that happen to them. Girls had their hair set on fire walking down the hallway. I've told you about the pins that were sticking in people's backs, the big hat pins, whatever. Stuff happens to you. Makes one wonder if this stuff happens so much that MSM would rather blather about anti-Trump topic. Rob, all they care about is the anti-Trump topic because it fits their agenda. And so they'll make this about Trump. Yep, it's been happening forever. It has in CAA. The difference is this. A long time ago, people would say, learn how to protect yourself. And they did. As a kid, you had to learn how to stand up for yourself. I understand that times are different. guns are deadly. Kids weren't shooting kids in school back then. And it's a different scenario. But we've kind of evolved, if you will, to this type of place because of the fact we didn't do anything a long time ago. Trump is mentioning security at schools. Well, and I think he's mentioned it before, Brandon. Hopefully this time somebody might listen to him. I don't know. You know, he's talked about this before. It's like talking to Jeff Sessions, and I'm sorry to bring up Jeff Sessions, but it's like how many times has he told him to do something or asked him to look into something and he doesn't do it? I was bullied terribly, but my parents taught me how to deal with it. It has served me well. Exactly, Patrick. Being bullied made you stand up for yourself. You and your friends took care of it. That's right, Barbara. And it made you a better person. It made you a stronger person learning how to deal with it. We didn't have shoot 'em up videos either. That's right. And we weren't allowed to watch those adult type shows either, Beck. Used to have a good old fashioned fist fight and afterwards shake hands, Alan said. That's right. And we didn't even have that. A lot of times didn't go that far. Lots of our vets are unemployed. I'm sure some would love the overt unity to serve the nation again. You know it, Rob. You know that they would. Gave me tough skin, Carmen said. I became a vigilante, William said. You know, the thing of it is, veterans would go out, and they would probably even volunteer to go out in front and protect those schools. We had a dot we chased from left to right of the skin. Don't know what that means. Left complains about gun violence, but they continue to produce violence in the shows. Well, Brandon, it's that contradiction, right? And because it fulfills their agenda. Oh, really, we had gun smoke. He killed at least 5 bad guys a week. That's true, Barbara, but I think it was a different kind of thing. I was bullied and became one for a while, lashed out, but thanks to parents, worked it out. Good. Lisa, I'm glad. Drop at the skin part. Okay. I think the ones, like when we would watch Gunsmoke and things like that, Barbara, there was a delineation between who was good and who was bad. And you never saw people just shooting for the sake of shooting. You never saw people who went and took it out on people because they were angry. You know, that's the difference. The most popular shows are shows with guns. Sorry, some vets should help at our schools. I would like to see them help out. I would too, Rob. I would too. Detached reality. Yeah. And you know, Brandon, I think that's a good thing too. Kids back then they knew what was real and what wasn't. Not near as graphic nor glorified as it is now. Maybe more dead. Oh gosh, Barbara. I think kids knew the difference between Gunsmoke, you know, and reality. And kids today, I'm not sure they do. Small kids that are allowed to watch this, as I've told you before, I've had parents who allow their kids really young to watch this kind of stuff, and the kids don't. After a while, they don't know the difference between reality and what, you know, these video games. They just don't. Because they're too young. Their brains are getting filled with this stuff, and they don't know the difference a lot of times. Depends on how long they're sitting there watching it, of course, but it can happen. Desensitized for sure. Yep, 8 dead, 12 injured per Fox, Alan said. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The rifleman, scary. But you know, Collie, you also, it's a good point too, like in rifleman, you basically had respect. You know what I mean? You had respect for the law. You knew right from wrong and things of that nature. I watched all the cowboys and they killed bad guys and we knew it was a show. Exactly, Barbara. I pray for the families and students. I think they're really, these days, you know, when parents aren't as involved in kids' lives, kids don't know right from wrong in watching stuff like that. They don't know reality from what's fake. I don't think that's the root of these shootings, but I see where you're coming from. Yeah, and see, it's not the root. I think it's part of the problem, and I think the root and the problem are kind of combined. Whereas parents are spending less time with the kids, I think that a lot of parents that I have spoken to, they think their kids ought to know these things. Like they'd say something like, "How come he doesn't know that? He knows better than that." No, unless you teach them, which is your responsibility to do. Sometimes they don't know what's right, what's wrong, how to do this, how to do that. That's why they have things called parents. I do dislike toy guns, though, especially realistic ones. Truly, so the realistic ones. song said true love. Um, so I think there's a whole system. Parents, unfortunately, well, Barbara, but it's a parent problem because they let their kids sit there and watch it over and over and over and over. I'm not saying that anybody should stop making video games, but I'm saying parents should stop letting their young children watch those video games. Spending time with children is so important. NCAA said it's paramount, paramount, and they have to teach them. An officer shot him. Good. It's a multifaceted issue. Brandon, it is. And I tell you, I think part of the issue, Brandon, is the fact that many parents have given up their rights as a parent, quote unquote rights as a parent, and given it up, handed it over to the state and said, you teach my kid. You teach my kid about sex education. You teach my kid about what you should do in bullying. You teach my kid about all these other subject matters that the school now teaches your kid about, that you should be the one teaching your kid about. And when you hand over the reins of your child to a school, your opinion no longer matters to your child in a lot of respects. Children being taught about life by non-parents. Yep. Hey, Cheryl. And that's what happens, though. When parents, their authority is usurped. May I say it takes a village? Yes, Hillary, you can say it, but we're not going to listen to you. It takes the right people back in that child's life, but it especially takes a parent. And if we're how many families do we have? Approximately 10 fatalities now. Good God. Thanks, Cheryl, for the update on that. How many? Gosh, I lost my train of thought. Sorry, that just took it away from me. Need to understand that in many Texas homes, teens might own guns and keep them. Yep, 2 suspects in custody. Wow. I would say probably, Kim, with that many people, they haven't searched the school yet. Both parents feel they have to work these days to get stuff to keep up. And Patrick, thank you. It reminds me of what I was saying. There are a lot of people. There's not a 2-parent home anymore. I don't know, Barbara. I haven't you haven't seen my hands move, so I have no idea. But there's not a 2-parent home. And so you've got one parent sometimes that are trying their hardest to take care of the children and raise the kids. And so there you go. Mom's just celebrated Mother's Day last week for the last time. Yep. Brandon, that's just so awful. So awful. But, what do you do when there's a breakdown of the family? I can see what you're saying, Barbara. I don't know what else you're saying, but yeah, they absolutely need prayers. Those people in Texas, I don't even, you can't even imagine the pain that those people are going through. I can't even imagine being one of those parents that went to school hoping that their child wasn't one of the victims. I can't even imagine that. I couldn't fathom the grief. No, I couldn't either, Brandon. It hits close to home, NCAA says. Wow. Hey, Julie. It's one parent at the home, usually because marriage ended, or one on night shift. Yep, that's right. That's right, Rob. We worked to survive and knew what our kids were doing. Yep. Our parents, even though we were out running around, because that's what kids did back then, everybody knew where their kid was. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have, beepers. We didn't have anything else. We had the whole neighborhood looking out to where the kids were in the neighborhood. My wife raised 2 boys. Oh gosh, it went so fast. Divorce rates are insane too. Yep. My next door neighbor's friend child goes there. Their child is okay. Thank God, Cheryl. Yes, everyone watched everyone's kids. They did. Everybody knew where everybody's kid was. They knew if they were safe. They just absolutely knew. My mom called my boyfriend's mom to send me home, or vice versa. Or your best friend. Yeah, both my parents worked. Mom always knew how to put hands on it. Yeah, that's the thing, Carmen, too. My parents both worked because they had to. But my grandparents were there. And, if you did something wrong, then my grandparents would tell my parents, and you would get, a punishment for that. But somebody always knew what you were doing. There was only one time in my life that I can remember we did something, the three of us, that my parents had no clue about. And it was ridiculous that we did it. And thank God we didn't get hurt. But at midnight one night, for whatever reason, you remember being smacked by the neighbors for messing up. Good for them, Patrick. Wait till your father gets home. My mother didn't wait till my father got home. She took care of her business herself. But at midnight, we decided to walk down to the church, which was about, I would say, about a mile away. And we went to the graveyard of the church. That was the big thing. And I have no idea to this day why we did it. But my brothers were older than me, so I'm going to blame them. But of course, I went with them because I didn't want to be left out. And we went at midnight in the pitch black dark down to the church and down to the graveyard. And then when we were done, we turned around and went home. Our parents never even knew we left the house. That was before alarm systems. That was before we locked the doors. Total boredom, I guess, back. I wonder if Pastor JD will talk about this on Sunday. Probably, Brandon. Probably. Hey, Chezzy. Yet still my friend's son was kicked to death by kids he ran with over a girl. No gun boots. Wow. It takes a whole family unit to be involved. My relationship with grandchildren is so important. Absolutely, Noelle. You rebel. I know, Alan. Woohoo. I wasn't going to be left out. I was a young kid, too. I don't even know how old I was. Probably 9 or 10. No good TV after midnight. Yeah, there was no TV after midnight, Beck. It was turned off. Remember, the stations went dark. I don't know if you were around during those days. The stations went dark after a certain time. There's a shooting near you, Chezzy. Technology has changed the lives of today. Children not always for the better. Exactly, Patrick. I absolutely believe that. We had the woods to play in. We didn't go out looking, running in the street or, whatever. We didn't have technology. We didn't have computers. Johnny Carson's show was late night. Yeah, we had that. Hey, Wayne, school shooting. Chezzy, where? Another school shooting? The anthem played and the TV went to snow. There you go. Test pattern, there you go. They played the national anthem, then beep. Yep, Cheryl, exactly. The screen would go black or off air late at night. We saw the national anthem play as the TV station went off. Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I'm so glad, looking back now, knowing what I know, I'm so glad we didn't have TV after a certain hour. We two played in the woods and rode our horses. That's so cool, Kim. Hey, Becky, how are you? That racist. Chezzy said something about another school shooting. Did somebody see another school shooting? I'm hoping that she just was looking at the same one and maybe was confused. I don't know. No? Okay. Hey, Becky, how are you? No, it's my liberal. I don't know what that is, Jesse. Sorry I'm jumping in and out. Dang phone calls. Wayne, I'm telling you, got to hold the phone calls. There was an Indian on the screen pattern all night, a chief. I would kind of remember that, Barbara. I do remember seeing that. I just don't remember if we had that or not, but I do remember seeing that from somewhere. I know. Can you imagine that? They had an Indian chief there. So Trump announced the VA secretary nominee just now. I have no idea who that is. It looked like it was yesterday. It was considering two military individuals. I don't know if it's the same person who is the acting VA secretary right now or not. So if anybody knows that information, you can let us know. Maybe because I lived in Oklahoma. Could be, Barbara. So racist, the Indian, yeah. Barbara, I know the one you're talking about, but wasn't it about how we destroyed their country? Is today the vote? Gina Haspel is already the CIA director, Jerry. It's already been done. Did people get kicked off and then came back? Or have a great weekend. See you Monday, God willing. Yes, Brandon, stay safe. Stay safe. Oh, Mr. Yep, Gina's first female CIA director. Indian sitting on a horse. Was that it, Barbara? Carmen wants to know if it was an Indian sitting on a horse. If everybody could, that's coming in and out, if you wouldn't mind, I know it's a pain, I guess, but test pattern with the Indian in the middle, Patrick said. Could everybody retweet the first part and the second part of this show today. If everybody in here would do that, that'd be great. No, only a chief in full feathers, Barbara said. I want to thank those people that do retweet. I notice that it's like the same people every day that retweet. I thank you for that. The RC shooting, one suspect in custody, second person of interest, both may attend the school. Rain interfering with my yard work, but I'd be whining if it didn't too. Cool. Think it was in honor of the Indians. Sure, have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you, everybody. So I will see you on Monday. If something else comes up, I may be back on. Yes, it's exactly, Jerry. All right, God bless you guys. I'll see you on Monday, if not sooner. Take care, everybody. Thank you, everybody on YouTube. God bless. We'll talk soon.